I'm here in Almeria and there is a very famous cathedral here, and let's see whether it holds up to its promises. So this is the outside. We are right in front of the entrance. Gorgeous as usual. I must say, what is nice about the Spanish churches is that, for example, in the entrance there's just enough to make it really beautiful, but not as overladen as German cathedrals would be. There is so much going on that you'll have to stand there for an hour and you don't really appreciate what is there. So let's go inside. So this is in one of the ante-chambers. Sort of a nice meeting room and good seat for the bishop. Wow, it's almost like in the Vatican, an audience room. Wow. Wow, here is a worthy spot for the choir. Appropriate, I'd say. And beautiful Spanish trumpets on the organ. Wow. Actual Spanish trumpets. Those are the pipes that stick out. Actual Spanish trumpets in Spain. Wow. Beautiful. So there are still other parts to the cathedral, but there's baptisms going on. So we'll have to meander out. All right, that concludes our cultural duties for the day. Now it's off to the beach. Wow, so I'm on my way to the beach at Copa de Gata, and there was a warning that there is a relentless wind, a constant sort of hurricane going on, about 80 kilometers day in, day out. And it gets so bad at times when it goes over 80 kilometers an hour, the wind, then you can't swim at the beach because you get drifted about. The famous east wind of Copa de Gata. So what is remarkable is that the speed limit here is 100, and what is very rare for Spain is that because of the wind, all the cars are just going 80, 75, because one gets so blown about. So an amazing sort of thing that's happening here. And I'm glad I took the side flaps of my windshield, because they contribute to the wind catches on them, and so makes it less stable. Thankfully the Burgman weighs 280 kilos, which makes it difficult for desert driving, but makes it easy for strong winds like this. In spite of 80 kilometer side winds, the Burgman is smooth and stable. So again, yay Burgman. Okay, I'm ready for the wind and the beach. So Copa de Gata, and I'm ready for a swim. I would have taken you along on my iPhone because it is in a life case that protects it from water, But today on my way here, I was going about 80 kilometers. It dropped off my bike again and was tumbling on the street, and luckily no car drove over it. But the phone is still working, but I'm not trusting that it is watertight at this point. So you'll have to imagine the swim. So you might wonder, with this constant strong wind, why are there no high waves here? And that's the other part, I guess, of the natural phenomena here. The wind comes from the land and goes out to the sea, which is something I have never seen. And so in the far distance, I don't know whether it shows up on the video, there are some yellow buoys and there is a net, because the wind always drives you out to sea. So if you want to swim, goes no further than those yellow buoys, but you still get stuck because you can't swim against that wind. So it is truly incredible. If you look here at these attempts of sun protection with those umbrellas, it's quite something. But I mean, the waves are almost zero. It's amazing. The long wait for the ferry to Africa. It's just a hop and a skip, really. It's an hour ferry ride. So I'm in Algeciras and going to Ceuta. That's still Spanish, but already on the African continent. And it's a massive harbor here. I mean, this is just the ferry little corner, but I mean, it's massive, like Hamburg or any other. It's the gate to the world. I mean, to Africa, to all the cities in Europe that are reachable by ship. All the freight that goes through here is amazing. So the ferry is leaving now. Last time when I took it 3 years ago, during COVID, there was hardly anybody here, and so the good cakes were still available. So now I have to have some sort of roll or other with a coffee. So standards are going down, I guess. Well, look at this. These are the leftovers. There's definitely chocolate here, but it's only at the very tip. You look on the inside, all fluff. Oy, oy, oy. So this is still Europe, and in a half hour we'll be in Africa. Look how fast this ferry is going. I'm always amazed. That is just stunning. Official entry into Africa. Still Spain, sort of, Ceuta, but definitely African continent. Oh my gosh, this is the Domino's Pizza where I sat 3 years ago in the middle of COVID. I tried to get with my motorbike to Morocco and made it all the way to Africa, only to learn here in Ceuta that you can't go, they can't cross the border, it's closed. So I sat here totally crushed 3 years ago. I'm in much better spirits now. Well, I made it. I am now officially in Morocco. I must say the crossing was amazingly simple. Took about a half hour, and I got my extra motorcycle papers, identification papers for Morocco. I got my international insurance. There were little booths here. Everybody was extremely friendly. So I must dispel some of the myths that you read on the internet. So I'm here in Chiffon, that's my hotel entrance. And then, so I'm in the Blue City, as it's called. In the inside town It's all blue, as you can see. And I have to walk now quite a bit way back to my motorbike because the parking spot is quite far away. But I must say, so far, Morocco has held up to all its promises. The people are very, very nice. The entire country is one big bazaar. So as soon as there are some houses, there are all these shops there, even in smaller villages. Now in these smaller villages, they're mostly, oh, my brain is stopped functioning, it's too hot. It's mostly umbrellas and little stores sort of underneath the umbrellas. Well, I will make my way to my motorcycle. It is an amazing hustle and bustle here. Wow. And lots of very old Spanish looking buildings. Amazing. All right, this is a new one. I'm in this tiny, tiny, tiny room where you can barely turn around. Bed is very decent though. And it is so hot up here that the cell phone stopped charging, saying it'll continue charging when it gets colder. I have never seen that. Don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight. This is gonna be rough. Well, let's see what happens.